Hello, thank you for joining us for this week's Object Talk. My name is Eliana and I'm a member of the learning team at the Jewish Museum. Today you're joining us for an Object Talk connected to our theme of the month, which is freedom. This week I'll be exploring objects that highlight the work of Lady Rose Henriques, an individual who brought freedom to different people in different ways and dedicated her life to the welfare of others. These objects are part of the Jewish Museum's designated collection of over 40,000 objects that shows the diversity of Jewish life and history, and our programs exist to explore the connections between faiths and cultures. So I'll share my screen so that we can see the objects. This is a photograph from our collection of Lady Rose Henriques. This photograph shows Rose on one of the Oxford and St George's Club's annual summer camps. The club was located in a poor area in the East End of London, and for many children, these camps were the only opportunity to go on holiday. Rose was born Rose Lowe in 1889 into an affluent Orthodox home, which encouraged her interest in the arts, and it became apparent that she was talented in both music and art, specifically painting. Rose met Basil Henriques shortly just after he had founded the Oxford and St George's Jewish Lads Club in Whitechapel, where she got involved with helping run the club with Basil. She then also became director of the Girls' Club, which was the companion to the Boys' Club. Not only did Rose give her time to the Oxford and St George's Club, but she was also involved in a wide range of welfare work as well. The club's name came from the university to which Basil went, Oxford University, plus from the area in the East End of London where the club was situated, which was called St George's. The clubs gave children the freedom to explore the arts. It provided social and educational activities such as sport, drama, ballet, first aid, and held annual summer camps, which for many children who are from inner city London wouldn't have had the opportunity to do otherwise. The members of this club enjoyed the annual summer camp so much, and the club in general, that many of the old boys and girls would keep in touch, and they would return each year to the summer camps. Basil and Rose got married in 1916, and whilst Basil had to serve in the army during the First World War, Rose ran both clubs in addition to also serving as a Red Cross nurse during any air raids. In 1919, the couple founded the St George's Jewish Settlement in Bett Street. As well as Rose's many contributions to the work that they did, her talent for playing the piano and the organ meant that she decided to write a club songbook containing 176 songs of newly written songs, but to familiar tunes. To add to her many welfare commitments, in 1943, Rose Henriques became heavily involved in the Jewish Committee for Relief Abroad, the JCRA, and consequently became head of the Germany department. The JCRA founded the Jewish Relief Unit, which was an active service unit that worked with Holocaust survivors in Germany, providing welfare services for them. Rose joined the Jewish Relief Unit and went out to Bergen-Belsen in 1945, and she was part of the second team to arrive there after its liberation. This object is a bronze-coloured badge with a large Star of David in the centre. The photo isn't very clear, but surrounding the Star of David, it says Jewish Relief Unit. This was Rose's badge that she wore while she worked as part of the Jewish Relief Unit. Now, whilst the camp might have been liberated, this wasn't the end of the story. Liberation was not an immediate end to suffering or even of death. After liberation, over 35,000 inmates of the camp died, and that's 35,000 more than over 50,000 people who were murdered before liberation. Liberation did not mean that people could immediately leave the camp and return to their former lives either. The conditions of a displaced persons camp, which is what it became, was still very difficult just after liberation. This meant that survivors were still behind barbed wire, provisions were scarce and inadequate, including clothing and medication. In addition, the DP camps found themselves being places of refuge for many Eastern European Jewish refugees who were forced out of their home countries due to anti-Semitism, even after everything they had experienced during the war. Many of those at the DP camps considered their stay temporary and often aimed to leave Europe altogether. However, despite this and the difficult conditions, the DP camps became centres of social, cultural, and educational activities for the survivors. Rose's welfare work at Bergen-Belsen displaced persons camp continued until it closed in 1950. Many Jewish DPs had emigrated to Israel or the USA. After this, Rose found a plethora of welfare and charitable organisations to become involved with, and often lead, including but not limited to the League of Jewish Women, the Whitechapel Art Gallery, and the Jewish Research Unit. In 1955, Rose received the title of Lady Rose Henriques when Basil was knighted. Lady Rose Henriques passed away in 1972. Lady Rose Henriques was a truly inspirational woman who dedicated her life and free time to the welfare of others. In her early work, she gave children and young people the freedom to explore the arts and to go on holiday, something that they wouldn't have had the opportunity to do otherwise. In her later work at the DP camp, it's highlighted that freedom and liberation, once taken away, isn't immediate, nor something that the people she worked with might ever find in its entirety due to the ongoing trauma that they continue to experience after liberation. Thank you so much for joining me for this object talk today, and do join us next week for another object talk on an object from our collection. Goodbye now.